been met. So what are your hopes for what can be achieved from this conference?
In a year? Well, I guess when the MDGs came up as a sort of a concept, I mean, there was quite a lot of, I suppose, concern that it was very unrealistic, you know, because, you know, if you look at rate of progress and, you know, realising how difficult the task actually is, how long it would usually take, you know. To sort of say it's going to get done in 25 years was sort of always, you know, yeah, it was always, but it was, so it was sort of difficult to sign, for everybody to sign on to that and say, yeah, we're going to do 50 years work in 25 years. But I think, you know, the power of actually galvanising people together has been quite effective. So even though we may not get there, it has been a very useful vehicle to galvanise everybody together and say, hey, if we work together, you know, let's see how far we can get. And I think, you know, it's led to a lot of comparisons. So some countries are making great gains in sanitation, like in Bangladesh, in Indonesia, places like this. They are, you know, you're able to say, well, look and say, well, why is it working in these places and not in others at the same rate? So I think it's been a very useful thing. I mean, the big question on the agenda is, what do we do next? What's the next thing that will galvanise after the MDGs? But I suppose, I think it's been, even though a lot of the MDGs are unlikely to fully achieve, it has been very useful. It has given people a long push along, particularly in some of them. And so we feel some of the power of that. But it's, you know, I mean, it's okay. It's okay because, you know, in their hearts we always thought, this is a bloody big job. Doing this in 25 years is going to be a big ask. But I think, you know, if you look back at the project, you'll be able to say, you know, it's got things on the stage, particularly it's got people working together. And we've done the numbers, you know, there's been a lot of numbers crunched. Saying, well, if the MDGs are going to be reached, then how much money will you need for sanitation? And which countries are more off track than others, you know? Which countries, you know, so it's, again, you've been able to question some of the investments that are being made. Because what we look in, when we look at water and sanitation investments, most of the investments that are done by international aid are in middle income countries, not in the poorest countries. So you're able to sort of flush that stuff out, so to speak.
And another thing is that to achieve the MDG in Timor-Leste, government of Timor-Leste increase the number of the money to access for the water and sanitation, and also how to integrate the behavior and practice behavior, so it will be reduce the number of the diarrhea disease that is still high